Hey YouTube, welcome to another useful video. Here's your buyer's guide on the first generation Toyota Tundra built from 2000 to 2006. The history of the Tundra is actually quite interesting. Its predecessor, the T100, was actually a good overall truck. However, when shoppers compared the T100 to the full-size domestic pickup truck competition, the T100 simply could not compete, and the reason for this was twofold. First, the T100 didn't offer a V8 engine, and second, it simply wasn't big enough. The T100 was more of a mid-size pickup truck, similar to a Dodge Dakota. So when shoppers looked at the T100, they felt that it was too small and underpowered. That's why Toyota saw the opportunity to introduce the T150 concept truck. This was the world's first Japanese full-size pickup truck with a V8 engine. However, Ford Motor Company didn't like the fact that Toyota chose to name this the T150. They even went as far as suing Toyota to make them change the name, and Ford Motor Company won, and that's why today this truck is called the Tundra. In terms of exterior styling and design, the first generation Tundra had a very cohesive look. It had those big bulging fenders, sculpted headlights, that wide front grille, and that really sleek looking profile. All of this translated into a truck that had a very nice stance. And it needed to, because it had some tough competition from the likes of the Dodge Ram, the curvy, swoopy looking Ford F-150, and the corporate twins in the GMC Sierra and Chevy Silverado. But overall, I think the Tundra can hold its own against those rivals and still stand the test of time because the design still looks good today. For the 2000 to 2002 model year, the Tundra was available as a standard cab with an 8-foot bed and as a 4-door access cab with a 6.5-foot bed. Both of those variants were available with 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive, and you could choose between 3 trim levels: base, SR5, and limited. 2003 saw the introduction of the double cab, which had 4 full-size doors and enough seating for 6 adults. Also available in 2003 was a step-side version of the Tundra, which some people have called the ugliest truck ever made. With an ergonomic interior that boasted high-quality materials, the first-generation Tundra was a great place to spend some time. It had Toyota's general high level of fit and finish, and you could operate most of the controls when you had gloves on. Additionally, if you got trims like the Limited, you got a faux wood interior with leather heated seats, and you could get optional niceties like a navigation system. The interior was one of the high points of this generation just because it offered a decent amount of luxury and usability without feeling low quality or making you feel that you had to make a lot of compromises. The first gen Tundra was available with a V6 or V8 motor. For 2000 to 2004, the V6 was the 5VZ, making 190 horsepower, and the 2UZ V8 made 245 horsepower. The V8 was upgraded in 2005 to make 282 horsepower, and 05 saw the introduction of the 1GR 6-cylinder, which made 236 horsepower. For 2006, the V8 was actually detuned a little bit to 271 horsepower, while the 1GR FE remained the same. The good news is that all of these engines are exceedingly reliable. In fact, the Tundra might just be one of the most reliable vehicles out on the road today. And that's evident because there's a lot of these trucks running around with over 300,000 miles. So, no matter what engine you get in the Tundra, it's gonna be a good one. Here's a look at the transmissions that were available on the first gen Tundra. Please note that they were upgraded for 2005 and 2006. Like any used truck, the first gen Tundra does have some common problems. First, you'll want to check the suspension components in the front end, especially the lower ball joints, and if they need replacing, I would recommend doing it as soon as possible. Second, for the driveline, you might need to get the universal joints repaired or replaced. That will cost you around $300 to $900. Some owners have complained about the steering, and that will require a new rack and pinion. Generally, this will be a pretty expensive repair. Some 2000 to 2002 Tundras do have a weak planetary gear inside the transmission for the overdrive, and if you tow with the overdrive on, you can roast the transmission, so that's something to be aware of. Some owners have complained of hairline manifold cracks for the 2UZ V8 engine. There have been some instances of rust on the roof of the vehicle. This can generally spread to the windshield area, causing a quite expensive repair. The first gen Tundra does like to eat up rotors and pads, and that's another thing to check. If you hit the brakes and they're wobbling, that's a good sign that you're probably going to need new brakes. They also tend to go through O2 sensors quite a bit, so that's something else that you should look out for, and make sure that the check engine light isn't on. It's also advisable to check the gas cap cover lid for rusty hinges. If the hinges are starting to rust or if they've given out, you could lose the gas cap lid cover completely, and that would require getting a brand new unit and color matching it to the vehicle. The headlight lenses also tend to get foggy after time. You can use a headlight correction kit, but it's advisable to completely replace the headlights for a permanent solution. The tailgate handle can also break off, which would mean that you would have to replace the whole unit. It's not super hard to do, but it's something to be mindful of. And finally, the biggest thing to watch out for is frame rust. Yes, Toyota trucks are notorious for frame rust, so it's imperative that you look up and down the vehicle and you make sure that there isn't fresh paint on the frame. And I would even advise you to bring a hammer so that you can hammer the frame to make sure it feels solid and there's no obvious spots of corrosion eating through the frame itself. The first gen Tundra is a great platform to modify. There's a lot of companies that provide off-road suspensions, bumpers, wheels, grills, headlights, taillights, exhaust systems, pretty much anything that you can name to turn your regular looking Tundra into your dream truck. And so it's a great platform to customize and make your own. And what's the conclusion on the first generation Toyota Tundra? Well, it's a great truck that's super reliable and still looks modern and fresh today. I highly recommend getting one if you're interested in it. And thanks so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button and have a great day.